All right, Hafaday, Lalawas Mwamwai. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to your chamber. To all of you viewing on cable and other social media platforms, welcome to your House chamber. I now call this fourth regular session to order. Please let us all rise for a moment of silence. I now would like to recognize the House Clerk for the roll call.
Representative Adat.
Present.
Representative Aldan. Here. Representative Aquino.
Present.
Representative Attal.
Present.
Representative Benavente.
Yeah.
Representative Angelo Camacho.
Present.
Representative Diego Camacho.
Present.
Representative Joel Camacho.
Present.
Representative Joseph Flores. Representative Marissa Flores. Representative Manglonia.
Present.
Representative Ogle.
Present.
Representative Omar.
Here.
Representative Palacios.
Yeah.
Representative Rangamar. Representative Sablan.
Let's take it.
Representative Nicolas.
Present.
Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Representative Yangtamay.
Nangiye.
Representative Yumo.
Here.
Representative Joseph Flores.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 18 members are present and 2 members are absent.
Thank you, Clerk. With 18 members present, a quorum is hereby established. Please let the record reflect that Representative Rangamar and who's the other member? Oh,
Flores.
yeah, and Representative Marissa Flores are hereby excused for today's session. And with that, I would like to appoint Representative Ralph N. Yumo as floor leader pro tem for today's proceedings. Any objections? No objections. All right, thank you, colleagues. And with that, I now recognize our floor leader pro tem for the motion for the emergency declaration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And normally I would sit up there, but some of my members complain to my office that when I'm up there, I talk down to them. So I'm now over here. But with that, Mr. Speaker, thank you. And pursuant to the Open Government Act and the Official House of Representative rules, I move that the House agrees that an emergency exists. The reason for finding that an emergency exists is due to the pressing issue and urgent need to address the 2026 fiscal year budget, which appears on today's agenda under Senate Communication number 24-54 and returning House Bill number 24-26 HD1 as amended by the Senate in the form of House Bill number 24-46 HD1 SS1. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader for the emergency declaration to move forward with this session, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Adat.
Yes.
Representative Aldan. Representative Aquino.
Yes.
Representative Attal.
Yes.
Representative Benavente.
Good.
Representative Angelo Camacho. Yes. Representative Diego Camacho. Yes. Representative Joel Camacho.
Good.
Representative Joseph Flores.
Yes.
Representative Manglonia.
Yes.
Representative Ogle.
Yes.
Representative Omar.
Hungan.
Representative Palacios.
Good.
Representative Sablan.
Hungan.
Representative Nicolas.
Yes.
Representative Yangtamay.
Aware.
Representative Yumo.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 18 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 18 members voting yes, an emergency declaration has been established. And with that, we now move down to item number 2, public comments. The podium is open. You'll be given 5 minutes. Please try to keep your comments within the items on today's agenda. And please state your name and the entity you represent. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. My name is Virginia Villagomez, and I am the Special Assistant for the Office of Management and Budget, and I'm here on behalf of the administration. I would like to commend, this working group, the 24th House of Representatives, members of the committee for putting together a document that we can work with to ensure that there is no shutdown in government. I also trust in the leadership and your commitment to reconvene within the next 10 days to address the governor's communication regarding the adjustment in their resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Villagomez. The podium is still open. All right, looks like there's nothing further under public comments. We now move down to item number 3, adoption of journals. We have none. Introduction of bills. We have none. Introduction of resolutions. Item number 5, we have none. Item number 6, messages from the governor. We have none. Item number 7, Senate communications, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 7, Senate Communications, we have one item, Senate Communication 2454, returning House Bill 2446 HD1, amended by the Senate as House Bill 2446 HD1 SS1.
Thank you, clerk. I now recognize the floor leader for the motion to accept.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House accepts Senate Communication number 24-54. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to accept Senate Communication 24-54, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. I will now place Senate Communication 24-54, referring to House Bill 24-46 HD1 SS1 on bill calendar for action today. We now move down to item number 8, House Communications. We have none. Item number 9, communications from the Judicial Branch. We have none. Item number 10, communications from departments and agencies. We have none. Item number 11, miscellaneous communications. We have none. Item number 12, reports of standing committees. We have none. Item number 13, reports of special and conference committees. We have none. Item number 14, unfinished business. We have none. We have nothing under item number 15, resolution calendar. We now go ahead and proceed to item number 16, the bill calendar, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And so that we are in line with the rules, I offer a motion to suspend Rule 7, Section 9, Committee Reports and Other Documents, and Rule 9, Section 9 and 10 on first and final second reading. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to suspend pertinent rules so that we can act on House Bill 24-46 HD1 SS1, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the passage on first and final reading on House Bill number 24-46 HD1 SS1 to define and identify revenues and approve revenues and resources of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Island as identified pursuant to Article 3, Section 9A of the Sinamay Constitution as amended, and 1 CMC Division 7 for the fiscal year 2026, and make appropriation for the operation and activities of the government of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, its agencies, instrumentalities, and independent programs, and to provide budget authority for the government corporation for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader for the passage of House Bill number 24-46 HD1 SS1, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Adat?
Yes.
Representative Aldan?
Clerk, apologies. I'd like to recognize
Discussion.
Representative John Paul's privilege.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. I know that we are so eager to pass a budget, but with that said, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, as your chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means, I appear before you all today with gratitude and respect for the work accomplished over these past few days. This has been a demanding process, but it has also been a moment where the legislature has shown responsibility, unity, and a commitment to our people in the face of difficult fiscal realities. First, I thank my colleagues on the House side and the members on the Senate Fiscal Committee for their diligence, cooperation, and dedication. I especially acknowledge Senator Jude Snyder, Chairman of Senate Fiscal Affairs, for his leadership and partnership. I also extend my deepest appreciation to the staff of the Legislative Bureau. Your professionalism and steady commitment throughout this process have been essential. On behalf of my committee and my colleagues, I sincerely thank you. Let us also remember that this House did its part when we passed our version of the budget on August 15 and transmitted it to the Senate. From that day forward, we stood steady to move the process along. Over the past 3 days, we have witnessed something too rare: genuine cooperation between our two chambers without the need for a formal conference committee. Instead, members of the House, Senate Fiscal Committees work directly together to reconcile differences and produce the budget before us today. We've met in both chambers and were assisted by Ms. Vicky Villagomez of the Office of Management and Budget, Secretary of Finance Tracy Norita, and Mr. Sixto Gisomar of the Department of Public Lands, who provided valuable input. We also met with Delegate Kimberly King-Hines, who shared that the Office of Insular Affairs is working with her office to render assistance to the Sinumay, provided that we demonstrate fiscal reform. This type of cooperation between our local government and our partners in Washington, D.C. is unprecedented, and it reflects exactly the kind of collaboration that will be essential as we move forward. Colleagues, as we consider this budget, let us remember the communication we received from the administration just days ago outlining the Commonwealth's financial condition. There has been discussion about why this budget does not immediately reflect the governor's message, reducing revenue projections to $156 million. The reason is simple. We must be deliberate. We must measure 3 times and cut once. Acting without planning would be irresponsible. We cannot cut the judiciary, PSS, or the executive branch further without consultation from stakeholders. That input was not available in the few days we had to finalize this budget. What we can do and what we must do is prepare better for the next round of adjustment, so reductions are made with careful analysis and participation from those directly affected. What we need are equitable reforms and reasonable austerity measures that reflects the size and core functions of our branches. If there are cuts to be made in order to right size, cuts must be strategic, targeted only what is really excess, not where they would cripple essential services. Take this legislative branch, for example. We have fewer than 30 employees serving 29 members. That's less than 60 people in total. This branch cannot afford to cut 6 employees without crippling its ability to function. One of the key provisions in this budget is funding for our public school system. PSS will receive $31.9 million. The Constitution mandates 25% of general revenues. While some may call for 25% of gross revenues, the truth is that we cannot afford that today. Our duty is to balance this budget and protect the stability of government operations. At the same time, PSS must also do its part. We cannot afford top-heavy central management structure at the expense of instructional days. Our children should never be used as political pawns in the budget debate. It is unrealistic to demand 49 million when every branch of government is asked to reduce. And when cost-saving measures such as travel bans are imposed, they should be implemented during summer months, not after classes begin. The game must end. Our focus must remain on protecting instructional time and serving the needs of our students. This budget has done that. It prioritizes teachers and school staff over central management. We have put students first. By passing this budget today, the legislature has acted to keep our government open, our schools funded, essential services running. This budget is a safeguard against a shutdown. At the same time, we remain committed to working with the administration in the days ahead to carefully review and realign this budget to the fiscal ceiling in a responsible manner. We must also be honest. Right-sizing will be necessary. Our government must reflect the fiscal realities of tourism industry that has not yet recovered. This decision will not be easy, but they are essential if we are to sustain a government that lives within its means. And as we make these adjustments, we must also strengthen the Marianas Visitors Authority because tourism remains our primary economic engine. While we right-size, we must also diversify, building a broader economic base that includes new industry, new investment, and new opportunities for our people. At the same time, we recognize the possibility of the Marianas Public Land Trust executing its 29 loan to the Commonwealth. In a perfect world, we will not need to borrow money to help pay for retirees, but that is not sustainable. But in difficult economic times, we may have to do so one last time to get through these challenges. But we must also commit to never putting ourselves in this position again, never reaching the point where borrowing from the trust becomes necessary. Our duty is to make structural reforms and sound fiscal decisions now so that the future generation are not forced to rely on such measures. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, this budget represents responsibility in the face of challenge. We have done our part to keep the government open, our schools funded, and our people served. For that, I thank you all, and I look forward to working with Governor Apatang to pass a modified budget that has his input and the inputs of all stakeholders in the three branches of Commonwealth government. And I ask all for your full support to support this budget bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. Any further under discussion? Recognize Representative Danny Aquino.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and honorable colleagues. Although, I wasn't directly involved in the budget deliberation, I just want to say that today marks a milestone for the passage of 179 million budget that evolved from the Senate, a significant milestone in our continued efforts to keep the government functioning and to support the vital services of our people that our people rely on. While this amount exceeds the 159 million that was proposed by the governor, a figure that I'm personally more inclined to support due to its conservative and realistic approach, I remain optimistic that we can work together to drive revenue-generating measures. Optimism that we, as legislators in both chambers, will continue introducing and advancing meaningful revenue-generating legislation that will help bridge the gap between projected spending and actual income. I just want to ask the Senate, I know I've been repeatedly asking them, that sometimes they need to look at these bills that go before them, such as House Bill 2454. That's my bill. And it's stuck also in the Senate. The military leave, I'm asking them in that bill, it exceeds to up to 30 days. But what people don't realize is that when our service members go for training, you know, they get good salary. And my colleague, Vince Aldon, can attest to that. That, you know, when mommy asks or honey asks, daddy gives or daddy sends. You know, sometimes they earn up to $5,000, over $5,000 in a month because they're getting paid a lot of money. And they remit the money back to Saipan, to the CNMI. So, you know, in the Senate, I asked them to please look at some of these bills because some of them, they got to think outside the box because it reflects on revenue generating and efficiency, like my colleague Joe Flores' bill for the House to have its own, or the legislature to have its own procurement process or finance. So I'm asking the public to please lobby for House Bill 2454. And everyone that was involved in this budget thing, thank you for all your hard work. I want to thank my colleague, Mr. Chairman. Our staff is out there in Lally 4. Unfortunately, I'm not there. And actually, it's a lot better in here because it's cooler. But our staff is out there, and my colleague, Chairman, we're always working for Precinct 2. And to the public, we got a lot of apartments available in Precinct 2. It's nice, it's clean, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Aquino. I now recognize Representative Roman Beneventi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and members. I'd like to really acknowledge all the effort that's been put together during these past weeks. And also I'd like to acknowledge the Secretary of Finance, Tracy Narita, and also Vicky Villagomez for really working with us hand in hand, you know, trying to craft this budget that's what's needed for the entire community, for the entire people of the CNMI. It reflects on my side that first time also that I've seen the Senate members work together, join together with the House members. And, you know, it's an eye-opener for me, but I see the cohesiveness that could be put together as far as working together as lawmaker and assuring putting aside our own personal interests and putting the interests of the people, and that's what put us together. And I feel really comfortable with that. In another note, moving forward, I like to mention a few things about PSS, the public school system, the school. You know, we haven't even passed the budget yet. And they're already telling the schools to turn off their air condition and everything. You know, as far as the usage and everything, the expenditure. They're already telling them to do that, and we haven't even come up with the figures whether they're going to be cut so much or not. I think it's a matter of management as far as they're concerned. And I've personally gone to all the schools myself, at least in my precinct. I've gone through all the schools in my precinct, and I've met with those people. Since I'm the committee chair for education here in the legislature, I've met with those people. I know how the system works too. But at the same time, I just cannot stand and see that they rally out every year and say student first. We work for a student. Everything is student first. But it's not really what it is. They're like what Representative Jumpo has mentioned. They are using the schools to pawn for their interests as far as the central office is concerned. And that's really bad. I'm not scared to say this because I've met with them. I communicate with them. But still, I just heard that they're trying to do another town hall meeting, another series of town hall meeting. Fine, that's good, because we have to also let the people know that this budget is not only for themselves. We also need this budget to pay all the other individuals that are working for the government. They have to understand that if we shut down the budget, people that are working for the government, or if we would have taken the money and given more to PSS and less to the working individual in the government, what would happen? Even their own kids that are going to school, their parents will not be able to afford to pay for their needs to go to school and everything with regards to that. So if you look at the totality of the operations and everything what we do, it affects everything. They like it or not, it affects. And that's one thing they have to be keen about, because there's no such thing as free lunch nowadays. And they have to understand that. And I'm gonna be very vocal about it, on how they do things and how we do things too. But we have to be fair, and what we did in this budget is fair. We got the Senate involved. I never thought the Senate would ever come around and involve themselves too, but it shows that there's a good rapport among us. So let's work together and let's put together whatever we can. Mr. Speaker and members, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to those people that were involved in crafting this budget bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Benavente. Recognize Representative TJ Magnolia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ways and Means, and also our Physical Affairs from the Senate. Like our colleagues mentioned, the collaboration these last few days has been very welcoming, and we see that what we can do when we really, sit down and we work together to pass this budget. And I think moving forward, knowing our current, financial situation and economic situation, I think what's the most thing that's needed right now is just communication between us, communication between all the branches of government, and especially, like you said, the agencies that are being affected. Obviously, this budget is not a final product. It's a moving target. But I think as long as we continue the collaboration, and again, I want to thank too our Governor Apatang and Lieutenant Governor Mendiola for also sitting down together at the table and bringing everybody. We're seeing the difference when we just put our differences aside and we truly sit down and put our efforts together and work for the people. So I'm hoping moving forward we can continue this collaboration, and maybe not just for the budget, but also, like you said, for certain bills. Maybe we can create some sort of working group that we can meet every now and then and discuss the bills and the legislation that we want to move, so that way our priorities are in order with the Senate's and we can address each other's concerns. So again, I just want to thank you. Of all my years, this is my third year in the legislature. Like I said, this is the first time we've seen this kind of collaboration, and I welcome it, and I hope it continues. So thank you, and have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Representative Maglonia. Any further under discussions? Recognize Representative Julie Ogo.
Thank you, Speaker. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to Fiscal Affairs Chairman Senator Jude and its members, and to Ways and Means Chairman Representative JP and my colleagues in the House of Representatives. I also thank all who played critical roles throughout our joint meetings on the fiscal year 2026 budget. the dedicated staff of the Legislative Bureau, our House and Senate legal counsels, Secretary of Finance Norita, OMB Director Vicky Villagomez, and DPL Secretary Iggy Somar. I equally recognize the active participation and input of our municipal mayors and department heads. It is not an easy task to work with very limited funds, but together we navigated these challenges with professionalism and commitment. At the end of the day, sacrifices must be made, and we must all continue to work within our means. Each of us is accountable to ensure that we fulfill our responsibilities and uphold the trust placed in us to lead the Commonwealth. Lastly, I wish to thank Governor David Apatang and Lieutenant Governor Dennis Mendiola for their transparency in openly sharing our government's current financial situation with the community. Their openness reinforces the importance of collaboration and trust as we move forward. Let us continue to work together in the spirit of accountability and unity for the people of the Sinamay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Ogle. Any further under discussions? Ready? Okay, before I call for the vote to, and I apologize for that, Clerk. Just like what has been said earlier by our chairman and our other colleagues, I just want to extend my appreciation and my gratefulness for Chairman J.P. Sablan and the member of the Ways and Means Committee, Senator Jude Hoff-Schneider, and the members of the Fiscal Affairs Committee, the members of the House, our LB staff, the fiscal analysts, the legislative assistants, the legal counsels, the clerks, and other LB staff that have made this bill and the work that goes into this bill possible. Also like to thank our staff in each of our offices too, because they've assisted, to the administration, the governor and lieutenant governor for coming to the table and discussing the real situation of our finances. The Department of Finance and OMB and other agencies for their cooperation and coming together to work together to put together a product that we can agree to disagree, but this was something that we all came together and we can agree upon. And as mentioned earlier, this is not going to be the final product. I know the work continues after this, but with this collaboration, I think we can meet the deadline and also meet our goals and hopefully come up with a fair and balanced product. So with that, thank you everyone. And with nothing further, Clerk, please call the roll again.
Representative Ada?
Yes.
Representative Aldan? Yes. Representative Aquino?
Resounding yes.
Representative Atao?
Yes.
Representative Benavente?
Again?
Representative Angelo Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Diego Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho?
Good.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglonia?
Yes.
Representative Ogle?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Palacios?
Again?
Representative Sablan?
Again.
Representative San Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yangtamay?
Howard.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 18 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 18 members present voting yes, House Bill number 24-46, House Draft 1, Senate Substitute 1, hereby passes the House. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 17, miscellaneous business, and the floor is open. Recognize Representative Atao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, thank you to the colleagues for supporting House Bill 24-46 HD1 SS1. We have met another deadline for the administration to sign this legislation into law so we can avert a government shutdown. We all, as we did with the $29 million loan, we worked to the time period that was given to us, and we were able to get that to the administration. And I surely hope that those negotiations are going on with MPOT and the administration. being saying that, I would like to extend our appreciation to our chairman for Ways and Means, JP Sablon, for leading the House, not just as members within the Ways and Means, but all the members of the House. You know, thank you guys for being a part of the meeting, sharing your thoughts, throwing ideas out there and how to improve this legislation so that we can get to the next level, which we will be working on starting Monday. To Chairman Jude Hofschneider and the members of the Fiscal Affairs, thank you guys for your collaboration, working together so that we can prevent conference committee and get this legislation to the governor's desk and prevent a shutdown. I understand that the numbers that were presented to us by the administration were given on Monday, and we made this promise that before we tackle that issue, that we will make sure that we don't get into a government shutdown. We've done that. We're giving this opportunity, we're giving the administration some time. I'm not gonna say a large amount of time, but some time to review this budget so that Governor Apatang and Lieutenant Governor Mendiola can look at the bill and see what they like and remove those that they don't like, but at the very least, sign the bill into law so we can prevent a government shutdown. That was the approach. First and foremost, the most important thing for both committees was to avert a government shutdown. And with the assistance of OMB and Finance, they were able to send that message to the administration, and they supported that message, knowing the fact that we're going to get back together and start working on not just on the amendment to the budget that we passed today, but also on legislations to help our situation here in the state of Maya, whether it's cost-cutting measures that need legislations, we're going to work on that, or legislations to improve our financial status, we're going to work on that. This is going to be a working group, and it helps a lot when we're able to sit in the same table with the same type of information, that everybody gets to look at the fair numbers that's presented to everybody, not just one branch of government. Rather than relying on a document being sent this way, we were actually given live information, and that's very important for us to be able to make sound decisions and provide the very best for our people. We are still challenged. The challenge is ahead of us. At least what we've done is we're going to avert a government shutdown. But I believe that working together with the leadership of Speaker Villagomez and the leadership of Senate President Neighbors and the administration under the leadership of Governor Apatang and Lieutenant Governor Mendiola, I believe that we can get back on the table, dust off the work that we've done this last 5 days, obviously with some food and drinks. We'll be able to stay in the room and finish a product and present what's best for our people, where not everybody is hurt, but everybody's helped. That's what we want to get to. And we're hopeful that this $29 million negotiations can happen before we even get to that 10-day deadline that we're hoping to get to. I believe that MPOT will be meeting on Monday, on I think Monday or Tuesday. I believe that it's very important for us members, along with our colleagues in the Senate and the administration, to participate, show up to that meeting. I hope that the negotiations will lead into a contractual agreement between the administration and MPOT so that we can move forward with the loan, so we can free up that $29 million, make the cuts that were presented to us by the administration, and move forward with the brand new budget. And then work together for other legislations that will assist our financial situation here in the state of Maya. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone here for all the hard work that you guys have put into the budget process. We'll continue to work together. To our colleagues in the Senate, thank you guys very much for staying back and holding that session at 6 p.m. so that we can address this bill today. And to our Bureau staff, thank you guys for your commitment, your time, and your energy, and for sharing your thoughts as well how we can move on with the budget. We know that we reserved many languages that will be placed in the next budget that we'll be addressing in the very near future, and we'll continue to work together. Let's make things easier. And Mr. Speaker, thank you again for allowing us to continue working with all sides, and we move on. Thank you guys, and have a great day.
Thank you, Representative Attal. Recognize Leader Roy Adam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Also, to everybody that had worked and deliberated over this, thank you so much to the public. We've deliberated for days, weeks, hours over it to make sure that certain things are funded. For example, Medicaid office, the retirees 25%, the scholarship. So there was a lot of work that was done here. It was tough because we have no intention to hurt any agencies. We, just like Leader B.J. Atto said, we weren't trying to hurt everybody, but we were searching how we're going to help the general public. So, I like to thank everybody that participated in it. Also to everybody that came, all the agencies that came out and spoke about during public comments about their needs. With your input, we actually considered a lot of your input and placed them how we are going to strategize that into the bill. So with that, thank you to the general public for their patience and their input. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Adda. I recognize Representative Yumo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank our powerful chairman, John Poe, for coordinating all these budget meetings together. I know we gave him a hard time. I'm glad that he saw past through that and kept the ship, moving forward. But on another note, I want to also inform our good colleague and chairman to look at the message memo sent by Secretary of Finance to the governor with regards to the additional reduction of $22 million from the general fund, and that's because of the decline in the economy. I'm not too sure of the construction tax because I think that's we have some people in the administration that consulted the administration and delayed the collection of the construction tax by amending that bill I actually wrote. But in regards the last 2 years we've been I guess practicing austerity, and to go from 80 hours to 64 hours, that's drastic. I think going back to the 70 hours would help stabilize the economy. You look at the submitted by the Secretary of Finance, we only lost a shortfall of $2.8 million the whole year, for the last year. 2.8 compared to the, I don't want to say other administration, but yeah, there it is. I said other administration, we're close to $100 million in losses every year. $2.8 million, and we're gonna come back and reduce the general fund again by 22 million. I'm not sold on that. With regards to the reduction in the forecast from MVA, that's understandable. That goes straight to from the hotel tax to MVA, so that doesn't even affect the general fund. But every year, this past year, Secretary of Finance appropriation versus expense, she always saved first quarter $5 million, second quarter 5.4. So she's doing her job. The question is how much are we going to squeeze our employees, and what does that translate to when it goes to the economy? You're forcing the economy to constrict, and that's very dangerous. That's something that we shouldn't look at. We should be very optimistic and go out there and look for investors. I know Rep. Angela and I, we visited Zoe Motors in California, and that looks very promising. But that's in California, that's not here in the Sinamay. But we should be very optimistic with regards to opening our doors and going out there and looking and asking. And with that, I like to just remind respectfully remind the chairman to look at this message and call those meetings so that we can discuss this thoroughly. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Yumo. Any further under miscellaneous? Representative Danny Aquino.
I want to echo, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to echo the same sentiments as my colleague, Floor Leader Yumo, that I hope, that the administration can try to soften the blow to hopefully 72 hours rather than 64. I know a lot of people are concerned, the working class, especially those that are earning less than 30,000. Someone approached me, people have been approaching me about salary cuts, and I take care of my dad, 88, and he requires a certain diet. And let me tell you something, when you keep buying fish, your payday is gone in less than a week with just fish alone. You go through dialysis, so I understand the hardship that people are going through, and sometimes too, I want the public to understand that too. We also are feeling it, that we're trying our best to help bring in these revenue generating measures, and also want to echo the same sentiments as my colleague here, TJ, that hopefully, Mr. Speaker, we can have like a working group between the House and the Senate to review some of these bills that are stalled, and maybe we can try moving them forward for the betterment of the CNMI. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Aquino. Any further under miscellaneous? Representative John Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I just wanted also to expand on some of the concern of our colleagues. And the Committee on Ways and Means will be starting on Monday in working on those bills that were discussed during our budget deliberation, and those bills are such as the construction tax that I'm circling around as we are having our session. That is one of the bill that the Secretary of Finance had asked both houses to consider amending and addressing the concerns of the Attorney General. So that's what we're trying to do now. And we're also going to tackle the transient bill that is before the Senate. That is also part of the discussion. And as mentioned, to look into the casino law and look in how we can improve that legislation so that we can perhaps prepare for any investment in the near future. So there's a lot of work that will be forthcoming. We will tackle, your Committee on Ways and Means, Mr. Speaker, will tackle the austerity measure, and as well in the same time we are hoping that we will be pushing all these bills along the side as we continue this joint working group. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. Representative Roman Benavente.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Missed out on one opportunity for me to mention too. With regards to our economic situation and the budget, I was let known by different individuals, was let known by them that government employees such as, for example, like directors' salary and regular government employee, like a journeyman and government employee, I would say, the lower echelon of the group, said that their salary was never, civil service employees, their salary was never raised for a long time. It was stalemate. So it's been dormant for a while. So they're concerned because, they were originally They were originally civil service employees, but they were taken out of the civil service employees. For unfortunately, I don't know in the past who shift that directorship position to be civil service employees. That is I'm not gonna go against that, but it's a concern from these people that are working and wants to be civil service. They were civil service originally, but then they were taken out from it. And then now, even if they want to apply for loan from the bank to build a house or something, you know, small-time employees try to build a house, they are not able to get them. The bank would just refuse them because there's no stability as far as their job is concerned. You know, civil service members, and they're having a hard time in trying to secure. Plus their salary is low. So that's one thing that I like to share among others, among other members. I have nothing against whatever it was decided in the past, but we're moving forward. You know, we have to look at these people that are working for the government, also that are part of us, that if we could help, why don't we lend a helping hand to everybody? In a layman's point of view, let's do it that way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Benavente. Any further? Recognize Representative Vincent O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And, you know, well, hopefully this, budget does go all the way through and then come back and try to fix, continue fixing the problem. I just wanted to let the people understand that, we have done, a lot to try to right the ship. And one of those things that we're doing is also to make sure that the government, the agencies are held accountable. And I'm not trying to, say that nobody's responsible, but, the actions speaks louder than words. With that being said, we've always deliberated on this thing, this budget, because of the government. What about the people? What about the businesses? So with that being said, I just want to let the people understand that we are working on it. And one of those things that we're trying to do is to hold every government agencies responsible. And one of the things that we promised, or at least I promised the people, that we will fix, this back billing issue. Okay? We are here to fix two problems at once: the burden of surprise back bills on our families and the fiscal strain on our public agencies during budget cuts. The bill that is forthcoming, okay, is built on a simple promise: fairness for the ratepayers, discipline for agencies, and a steady collection that protects the core services. Let me start with what this means at the kitchen table. Too many of our residents have opened a bill and found months, sometimes years, of charges all at once. No warning, no explanation, just a number big enough to blow a family budget. The proposed bill ends that practice. It sets clear limits on how far back an agency can bill when the mistake wasn't the customer's fault. It requires advance notice, itemized explanation, an affordable payment plan, so a valid undercharge is repaid in small, predictable installments, not as a shock to the household. Here is the human impact. If an agency discovers underbilling, we convert that debt into a manageable plan, 24 to 36 months, with fees and interest waived when the fault lies with the agency. We protect hardship customers with income-based terms, and we say plainly, no disconnection for someone who is following their payment plan or has a valid dispute pending. That is not leniency, that is basic fairness, and it increases compliance. Now, the second problem, our public finances. In austerity, every dollar matters. When agencies can lawfully and transparently recover verified underbilling, they stabilize their cash flow without running into the general fund. But there's a right way to recover. Steady, predictable inflows from a payment plan are better than one-time spike that invite defaults and public anger. The proposed bill gives a lawful, transparent path that actually improves collection while lowering bad debt. Let me ground that in numbers. Imagine an agency validates 5 million in underbilling spread across 8,000 accounts. That's about $625 per account. Under a 24-month plan, the average add-on is roughly $26 per month. That is the difference between a repayment plan that people can manage and default that helps no one. Another example, a hospital finds $3 million across 2,000 patients, about 1,500 each. Over 36 months, that's about $42 per month. Again, manageable, transparent, and payable. Fairness is not abstract. We write it into law with 5 guardrails. First, a look at back limit. We cap how far back an agency can bill when the error is theirs, 12 months, and reserve up to 24 months for cases of fraud or tampering. Families deserve this certainty. Second, transparency. Every back bill must disclose the periods, meter reads or records, rates used, and the cause of the error. In plain language, no more black box statements. The affordable plan, a default 24 to 36 month amortization with fee and interest waivers when agency error caused the shortfall. Keep monthly payments small, keep people current. And the fourth, due process, an independent review and appeal path where collections are paused until a decision is made. That builds trust and improves repayments. Fifth, internal discipline. Agencies must conduct root cause analysis, adopt corrective action plans, and certify fixes and report quarterly to oversight. We don't just collect, we prevent repeat failures. To the concern that this adds administrative burden, yes, there is some lift, templates, notice, appeals, handling, but the cost of chaos is higher. Standard forms, digital workflows, and a public dashboard will keep administration lean while giving the public visibility. How many back bills, how much collected, why it happened, and what was fixed. The sunlight is a deterrent. And to those who ask how this fits with budget cuts, here is the answer. It's predictable, lawful collections, and to protect the core services. When agencies recover what is truly owed fairly and steadily, the pressure to cut auditors, first responders, cashiers, and collectors is reduced. We can safeguard the front line by fixing the pipeline. The proposed bill is not an anti-agency and it is not an anti-ratepayer. It is pro-fairness, pro-discipline, pro-stability. Let me close with what this delivers. For household, no more surprise lump sums, clear rights, and small predictable payments. For agency, higher, steadier collection and fewer write-offs, earned through transparency and competence. The government during austerity, you get a smoother cash flow, less reliance on general fund, and a stronger public trust. This is how we protect the people and repair systems at the same time. We cannot keep trying to punish, the ratepayers. We have deliberately been excusing government, mismanagement. And it has cost the government, and it has cost the public, and it has cost businesses. And here we are. We need to hold ourselves accountable. And we need to stop taxing the hell out of, the public sector, the private and the business and the homeowners. It is not fair. So every agency must hold itself accountable, and we must hold them accountable so that we are not going to be coming into this road again. I respectfully ask for your support for this back billing. Let's pass it when it comes, and let's make it fair, disciplined, and sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Aldan. Any further under miscellaneous? Ready? All right, we now move down to item number 18, announcements. Any announcements? Ready? Okay, with that, we now move down to adjournment, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House stands adjourned, subject to the call of the chair. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for adjournment and has been seconded. Any discussions? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This session's hereby adjourned. Thank you, everyone.